Hey guys, Mapletail here. Today is my reaction to reading the newest book in the Warrior Cat series, and the final book in the Broken Code arc, A Light in the Mist. So spoiler alert for the whole book. Before I get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, fan art time! This beautiful piece is by Breezeway Arts. Thank you so much for the gift. If you draw something you'd like me to see, feel free to DM me or tag me in any of the social media linked in the description. So as usual, this isn't a formal review, just my thoughts chapter by chapter of anything that caught my eye. I've already read the first 3 chapters, so we'll be skipping right to chapter 4. We start off with a Rootspring POV. Lots of him just running from Ash for his cats, separated from everyone else again because of course. I just want all our protagonists to be in the same scene for once. For longer than a couple of pages. Is that so much to ask? I am curious about the voice that Rootspring started to hear in his mind, similar to when Bramblestar called out to him at the beginning of the Broken Code. When Rootspring runs right into Mapleshade, I can't help but wonder if she could be the voice in his head. Maybe she's tired of being under Ash for his rule. When Shadowsight just barely makes it back through the Moonpool, it's not even a little bit surprising that the leaders of the clans are all arguing over stupid things. Again. Just like through this whole arc. It's hilarious to me that when they fear Bramblestar may be tainted from his time in the Dark Forest, that Tigerstar says that he's a sensible cat, despite his time training there. Tigerstar. A sensible cat. The implication that Bramblestar is a true warrior is also pretty ridiculous in my opinion. It's been a long time since I agreed with that. I'll never be forgiving his treatment of Squirrelflight during her Super Edition. At least Shadowsight seemed to eventually convince the clan to send help to the Dark Forest to save Rootspring, Bristlefrost, the Spirit Cats, maybe even some Dark Forest cats. Very interested to see who might be switching sides there. And last but not least, StarClan. Shouldn't have even been a question if they're going to try to save him or not. Bristlefrost's first new chapter is largely the same as the other 2, fleeing through the shrinking dark forest, dodging scary water, until she runs into someone. I recognize the names of Dark Forest cats Red Willow and Mapletail, but I don't recall Sparrowfeather. Them not fighting her, but instead trying and failing hilariously to take over her body was amazing. The character development we've gotten for the cats of the Dark Forest has been one of my favorite parts about the last couple books. I'm just so excited that it seems like they may even join the side of the living clans, after Bristlefrost's persuasive arguments. I am so curious about this voice speaking to Rootspring. It's clearly not Mapleshade, if she ended up keeping him prisoner. Kinda seems like it could be a StarClan cat, or at least Ashfur seems worried it is, based on how he sent Houndleap to check the barrier when Rootspring repeated a phrase from the voice. Back with Shadowsight, and after much more annoying arguing between the leaders, it sounds like every clan is going to send one volunteer to form a patrol to defeat Ashfur. I wasn't surprised to hear Greystripe volunteer, after all the setup for his important role this arc in Greystripe's vow. I honestly don't know who else will volunteer though. I can't help but think that 5 cats won't be enough for such a task. And I love that it was Lightleap who did end up being chosen for ShadowClan. I adored her in A Place of No Stars, and would love to get to know her more. I loved getting to see more of Bristlefrost with her Dark Forest patrol as they led her to the barrier. It was awesome to see them help her widen the gap in the vines enough to let a StarClan cat through. And a cat none other than Needletail. She was never my favorite, but I did miss her. And it was so sweet to hear her talk about Rootspring being her close friend Violet-Shine's kit, and how he must be just as tough as her. When Rootspring yelled at the voice in his head, asking it for help, and then responding with, "I'm working on it," was so funny to me. And then getting Rootspring to talk to Darkstripe about being a lackey to an evil cat definitely narrows down who this voice could be by a bit. They must be a StarClan cat, and someone who was alive during the first arc, to know these details. And I was right, as the voice is revealed to be Firestar? Hello, what? I can honestly say I did not see that one coming. But of course he wouldn't stay out of this. especially with all the danger his daughter's been in. Oh my god, and his root spring let him borrow his body to fight. We actually get another Firestar POV after many years since he was our sole protagonist. Wow. It's honestly so special. This whole scene with Firestar fighting and finally killing Darkstripe was exceptional. And it looks like at least one more Dark Forest cat has switched sides. Silverhawk. Swearing on his mate, Emberdawn, Spirit, not to harm, but to help Rootspring. I'm curious about this mysterious she-cat that Firestar didn't recognize the name of. If she's not with StarClan or the Dark Forest. What happened to her? I love this squad gathered by the end of Bristlefrost's chapter. StarClan, the Dark Forest cats, Spirit cats, and Living ones, all working together is so interesting. And something we've never really seen before. I am sad that Red Willow was lost to the Dark Water though, but kinda glad someone was. The book's been making it out to be such a threat, without really showing it until now. I'm less impressed with the volunteers for the Dark Forest Patrol. I'm excited for Lightleap and Violetshine, as I love them, and it can mean a cute reunion between Violetshine and Needletail. But Misty Star and Crowfeather just kind of feel like they were chosen solely because we don't know many cats from current day Riverclan and WingClan. If Misty Star wasn't featured on the cover of the next book, I'd wonder if she'd die on this mission, and we'd finally get new leadership for Riverclan. I did like her speech, when she spoke about each cat joining the patrol. Her character arc has really gone downhill the past couple arcs, so I was glad to have a nice Misty Star moment. Just a bunch of nice little moments between these cats of different clans here. It's always so nice to see. Of course, Shadowsight ends up having to take Lightleap's place. I was wondering what the authors were going to do about leaving that POV behind. I honestly just wish they could have gone together. Quite an interesting bunch of StarClan cats end up joining the patrol too. I'm happy to see most of them. Honestly, everyone but One Star, who's been one of my least favorite cats for a long time now. But Redtail, Silverstream, Feathertail, Larksong, and especially Firestar are all welcome surprises. And they finally meet up with Shadowsight's patrol of living cats. Now they stand a fighting chance against Ashfur. So many adorable reunions here. Firestar and Greystripes was especially heartwarming, as was Violetshine with Needletail. And it was so sweet when she got to tell Needletail that she named her daughter after her. And Greystripe with former mate Silverstream and daughter Feathertail. I'm now understanding why Crowfeather was chosen for the patrol. I hope we get to see some of him with his long-lost love. And poor Redtail standing away from everyone, dead long before most of these cats were even born. I'm surprised we get a big battle with Ashfur and Darktail already. I was expecting it closer to the end. I wonder how many cats we'll lose here. It seems incredibly unlikely that everyone will survive. It was so sweet to see Rootspring worrying about Shadowsight in the fight and getting him to hide. I've always loved their friendship. Speaking of awesome friendships, Needletail and Violetshine getting their revenge by killing Darktail together for all the suffering he caused them was such a satisfying moment, and tied up some loose ends for me for a Vision of Shadows. I knew we were going to lose some cats. Perhaps beloved ones. But Bristlefrost? Bristlefrost rushing at Ashfur as he tried to drown Shadowsight, and her taking Ashfur down into the depths of the Dark Water, was such a heroic sacrifice. And yet, so uncalled for. Still, it feels oddly fitting, considering where her story started. But that doesn't make it any less painful. Her last moments making sure that Ashfur died with her, and dreaming of a life with Rootspring, was so heartbreaking. I wasn't even a big fan of that relationship. Hell, I was even against it for a long time. But they both deserved that life. That would have made them so happy. It feels like when we thought Shadowsight was killed off a few books earlier, but this time, I think it's real. How dare. And with that, the Dark Forest and the connection to StarClan are restored. It's really devastating that Bristlefrost won't be able to join her ancestors, like all those who lose their lives in the place of no stars. She saved everyone, just like she always wanted to. The living clans, the spirit cats, Star Clan, and the Dark Forest. And she won't even get a chance to live on, in any form. It's not fair. It was so hard to see Shadowsight beating himself up for what happened. I truly believe none of this was his fault. All the fault goes to Ashur and his ridiculous plot. End of story. I love Juniper Claw giving him a pep talk though. As the cat who saved baby Shadowsight from drowning all that time ago, it feels right. And I am personally offended that Leafpool said Shadowsight will never have a connection to StarClan. Like, I'm glad the shadows are gone from his heart. My boy deserves a chance at the light. Oh, so pretty frustrating, but I guess understandable, that the Dark Forest cats who fought alongside StarClan aren't allowed to join them. They help save everyone too, but they have to continue an afterlife of punishment? Pretty awful. And it was pretty uncomfortable to see all the tension between Silverstream and Millie, as well as with Feathertail and Leafpool. Understandable to a point, but Silverstream also disliking Briarlight was not cool. Neither was Briarlight's disability being healed in StarClan. These books have always had some gross ableism, and I'm sad to see that trend continue here. On a brighter note, the discussion about the code between StarClan and the living cats was fascinating. I liked the idea of reordering the rules in order of importance, and the idea of giving the clans 3 moons to think of ways to challenge leaders who make bad decisions, and to look at the idea of allowing cats to switch clans for love. Both things could make for some pretty interesting stories in the future. Losing Greystripe to his wounds on top of all this was so sad, but it also really felt like his time. He fulfilled his destiny and helped save the clans. It was a wonderful send-off for him. One final gathering before the end of the book. It went pretty much as expected, honoring the cats who died and fought to save the clans. Arguments over changes to the code, always with the arguments. I like the title given to those who fought in the Dark Forest, Lights in the Mist. Fitting. I'm a bit furious that it seems like Bristlefrost died just as an excuse to change the warrior code and allow forbidden relationships. She was so much more than her relationship with Rootspring. She just deserved so much better. And I'm devastated that she's gone, in a series where that is incredibly rare. Aside from maybe a minor character here and there, this hasn't happened before to someone who wasn't a StarClan or Dark Forest cat. So for them to do this to a beloved protagonist, that's a lot. When Rootspring tried once more to reach Bristlefrost at her parents' request, I almost thought it would work, but that would have been too good to be true. That said, I think Rootspring was able to reach her in a way, just not the way he was hoping for. I think he reached her hopes and dreams for their life together, as he saw them together under a willow, running through the woods, and with their 3 kits, just like Bristlefrost saw, as she sank beneath the depths. While she may be gone, a part of her will always remain in the hearts of those who loved her. Is that enough for me? No. But it's something. And at this point, I'll take something. I just can't stop thinking about how Rootspring's gonna have to live his entire life without her, and then his entire afterlife, as with her parents and anyone else who loved her. It's so sad. With that depressing ending, that's about it for me. Enjoy the rest of the drawing. Thanks for watching! I have so many mixed feelings about this book, and the Broken Coat in general. Either way, I'm looking forward to leaving it all behind, and moving on to the next arc, with Book 1, River. As soon as I finish grieving all we lost here. If you've read this book, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you next Thursday.